What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of The Rundown, this time for the Yoshi Tour. Joined by my good friend, Antilev. How you doing, Antilev?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I know you're a big Yoshi fan. What do you think about the Yoshi Tour so far?
It's great. This is honestly like just for Yoshi's Island alone. I know Yoshi's Island is like a Ninja Hideaway tier track. There's a couple annoying things about this tour, but honestly, it's like a pretty close to 10 out of 10 tour.
Nice, man. Yeah, I love the new tracks. There's a lot of new tracks though, so we'll get into all that. But no, it's good. Always good to be back with you. I think honestly, it's been a pretty crazy March, but back in the swing of things. I think as long as we have Alberto on the team and people like Larry and Sam78IT doing some work behind the curtain, I never want to stop doing the rundown. So excited to be with you guys today, and we'll get into some of this here with you. Just give me 1 second. Cool. Yeah, so like I said, appreciate the community. Honestly, if we did not have this many supporters of the channel, I don't know if this would continue quite at the clip that we've been doing it. Trying to keep it as consistent as possible because you guys, I don't want to let you guys down. I want to keep delivering. This is what you guys want. So if you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy the rundown, please leave a like. I'll give you a couple seconds to do so. I know you're already subscribed because that's why you're here. But please, if you can, leave a like. That does get that in front of other people. Even if you leave a comment, I'd made sure to comment on to comment back with everyone who commented last rundown. I love you guys so much. Special thanks to the Super Studs, Issa, Frenzy Fans, Frenzy Gun, SM Bros, Wellen Zhao, Hero of the Skies, Larry98, Natalie, Kareem, Jeeves, Nat. Honestly, thank you guys so much. If it wasn't for you, it'd be really hard to do this. So shout out especially to the Super Studs. All right, let's get into the Yoshi Tour. Obviously, we got, if we start anywhere, it has to be with Poochie, the brand new driver. Obviously, he's got this Lucky 7 top skill. Now, he is a non-me Lucky 7 driver, so there's this kind of underlining discussion in the community about Lucky 7s with non-me drivers. People like Charging Chuck, Lakitu Party Time, some of these guys that were decent at one point in time seem to have kind of like a little shorter shelf life than other items. But what's your thoughts on the brand new driver, Poochie, other than the fact that he looks awesome?
Yeah, a lot of people are like super enthusiastic about him, and I think that's definitely warranted. It looks great. He's a heavy hitbox, so that was a bit of a surprise because I thought he looked quite small in the trailer videos. But he's coming in with the Lucky 7 skill, so a good top 4 skill. It's I would say probably the weakest of the top 4, but it is still a top 4. Yeah, I mean, so looking at past Lucky 7 drivers, we had Light Blue Shag Explorer recently, who's been doing great. I personally have him on my main account, level 6 and double capped, and he's been, coming in on some great ranked tracks and for me and saving me in that sense. And looking back before that, I think the last non-me Lucky 7 driver we had was Charging Chuck back, more than a year ago in the LA2 tour, and he had a really he burned really hot for quite a while, but look at the rankings because I kind of forgot about it. I mean, he's sitting all the way down at 60 now, and he has a lot of tracks, but once those buffs stop coming, and the thing about Lucky 7 is it's a skill where coin box on a non-me or boomerang on a non-me, you can still ride that for a pretty long time. Lucky 7, any of the other top 4 skills, you may be probably going to use those above them, or at least the scoring potential is higher. Or if you get a me suit overlap there, like it's easier for a Lucky 7 driver to lose tracks. So I think that's kind of why Charging Chuck fell off so hard, even though he's got like a ton of raw coverage. So I don't know, it's up to you. I think, if you buy Poochie now, invest in him, you will get some excellent usage in ranked in the probably coming like 3-4 months or something, but I wouldn't say that he's going to have the same kind of longevity that like a Meowser or a Gold Me suit would have. So just that's my kind of initial take on him. Looking at his tracks, yeah, he has starting with 10 tracks, so that's good. Actually, all of the new high-end items in this tour, with the exception of the new Me suit, have 10 or more starting tracks, which is really good. He's got 3 new tracks, 2 Yoshi's Desert and Yoshi's Valley RT, so 2 of those are in ranked. Unfortunately, Yoshi's Desert RT is a level 8 unlock. Bushi, yeah, the annoying thing about Bushi, he's got 4 ranked tracks, but he is a week 2 spotlight shop, and he does not show up randomly in your spotlight shop in week 1 at all. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to use it until week 2. So those 2 week 1 ranked tracks that he's on are kind of a waste. So his week 2 ranked tracks are Yoshi Desert RT and Yoshi Island RT. And Yoshi Desert RT is at level 8 unlock. So, unless you're going to take him to 8 right away, he's really only going to be useful for you on 1 ranked track. So he's got those 3 new tracks. He's got 2 nitros. We consider Yoshi's Island variants to be nitro tracks. He's got 2 of those. He's got 2 recent tracks in Riverside Park and Baby Park T. And then he's got 3 older tracks, Choco Island, 2 Choco Islands, and a Yoshi Circuit. We have 3 older tracks, like really, really old tracks this tour. Choco Island 1, Donut Plains 2, and Yoshi Circuit. So we consider the buffs on those to be lower value. So any item who's going to get those buffs is going to have kind of less value from those buffs, so we want items to avoid buffs on those older tracks. So yeah, Bucci, his start looks pretty decent. Some newer tracks, 2 nitro tracks, so 7 of his 10 tracks are not old retros. That's a pretty quality start. So yeah, if he helps you right now and he helps you for ranked, I would say he's a pretty safe investment, but depending on your account in the long term, he may not help you so much.
Yeah, I think he could help out your account for about 6 months, and then he's just not going to be obsolete. The tracks he has exclusives will probably have some kind of Coinbox driver or meta me suit covering it. So just know that 3 to 6 months is its shelf life. Enjoy it while it lasts, but this tour might be one of the most obscure because you can use them for 2 times for ranked out of the 4, and then next tour, who knows what will happen to him. So yeah, overall though, he looks cool. I don't know if it's worth investing in. I'm looking at this Yoshi's Island RT for next week in ranked, and honestly, I'll probably put some tickets into the Goomba as little as possible. Maybe 2 or 3, or I guess 2 or 4 in that case, to take it up to level 4. But honestly, I don't think I just can't get behind it. If I can somehow get through the next 3 to 6 months without investing in them, I will. I might just get it. Might just get them just for the 70 rubies, just to have them at a cheaper cost. But that's about it. Now
it might be good to buy them and stash them, because we were getting a lot of plus skill drivers like seemingly every tour, like last summer. But I think that's kind of slowed down now.
I'm with you there. Do you want to talk a little bit about what are some of the most valuable buffs before we get to some of these items?
His buffs, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah, so let me give you the overlap report on Poochie real quick first, just while we're still on him. He doesn't have a lot of overlap with a lot of different drivers, but the ones he does are a little bit worrying. He's got 3 overlaps with Gold Egg Yoshi. He's got 3 overlaps with the Piranha Plant Me Racing Suit. He's got 3 overlaps with the Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer, what I was just talking about. And he's got 3 overlaps with Charging Chuck Gold. So those are 4 drivers who are all like pretty meta. Yoshi Gold Egg is like a little bit older now, but I mean, still a lot of people will have him at the high level. So check his tracks and check the coverage that you have on those tracks and see if his starting tracks are useful for you. I will also say at least 4 of his starting tracks are short tracks. Baby Park, 2 Choco Island ones, and Riverside Park. I think Baby Park T is a 6-box track, but it's still short, and the other 3 are 4-box tracks. Lucky 7 is not good on short tracks, so just keep that in mind as well. Yeah, so the top most valuable buffs, it's a bit weird this tour, because normally the most valuable buffs are on the new tracks that are in ranked, and then maybe if a coin box or plus skill driver gets an exclusive. First of all, we don't have much changes to exclusive this tour. There no change to plus skill exclusives at all, gain or loss, and coin box exclusives, there are no losses. Gold Charging Chuck got 2 new ones. He got, where is it? Yoshi's Desert R and Yoshi's Island R, and Larry Wintertime got Baby Park N and Yoshi's Island T. Now the Yoshi's Island tracks, we don't consider them cities anymore for terms of the model, but because they're nitros and we don't put them on the same level as regular retros. They don't get any kind of new track bonus, so they're treated as tracks that are over 1 year old now. So those buffs on Yoshi's Island are significantly less valuable than getting a buff on Yoshi's Desert tracks or Yoshi's Valley RT, the new retros. So Larry and Goldchuck each get a Yoshi's Island, so that's a valuable buff, but not as valuable as getting a new ranked track. Goldchuck got Yoshi's Desert R, but it's not in ranked. So, actually looking at the most valuable buffs, we are talking about Toad Astronaut and Poochie on Yoshi Valley RT. We're talking about Piranha Plant Me Racing Suit, Roaring Racer Me Racing Suit on Yoshi Valley RT, and then the gliders on Yoshi Valley RT. Yoshi Valley RT is just like super paywalled, and it's really tough. So there's only 6 top shelf gliders, which is the lowest of any track in the game.
Wow.
And so all of those gliders, Icy Mario's mustache, Calico Toby Balloon, Silver Luigi's mustache, Tulip Corsage, Yellow Heart Hat Balloon, and Yoshi's Cookies all get like a super valuable buff on that Yoshi Valley RT track. And people have been asking me, hey, how come Yoshi's Desert RT isn't the same, isn't worth the same? That's because of the way we value items. Their paywall sort of rating, and Yoshi Desert RT, which is ranked at week 2 and is like pretty paywalled, but there is a super option on every for the gliders, karts, and drivers, so you can use a super there, so that in terms of the model, if there is a super available, we don't consider it a paywall track. So that's why Yoshi's Valley RT is much more valuable than Yoshi's Desert RT, because if you got some super tickets, you can just pump up your super and use that there instead of having to invest your very rare and very hard-earned high-end tickets.
Yeah, good point there. That's there are some super options. It's kind of nice that they're doing it that way. But yeah, that definitely impacts whether we see that buff as valuable or not. Again, everything kind of is on the spectrum. We like to do a lot of it with the algorithm and make sure that everything's kind of dialed into exactly what that is worth. And to have those tracks, I see a lot. Even myself, I'm using a couple supers in ranked, which this is very rare.
Me too.
We usually consider supers kind of a stopgap to the end solution, but this tour, man, with new tracks and they give us supers, we're taking advantage of everything we possibly can. So let's talk about this PD Piranha Me suit. What's your thoughts on him and his starting value?
Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of hard to not compare it to the PD Piranha Me suit instead of the Piranha Plant Me suit.
Yeah.
But the skill is Fire Flower, so that's obviously way worse than Boomerang. Starting with 7 tracks, let's see, he's got 2 new tracks, so Yoshi's Desert RT and Yoshi's Valley RT, so those are both in ranked. That's really nice. Although the Yoshi's Desert RT is a level 8 unlock, unfortunately. He's got 1 Nitro, Yoshi's Island R. He's got 1 recent track, Riverside Park R, and he's got 3 older tracks. It's kind of a medium start. If his Yoshi's Desert RT wasn't a level 8 unlock, I would say it's much more valuable. But I think the kind of approach you need to take with non-plus skill Me suits these days is wait for them to develop a little bit and see what kind of coverage they get before you start considering investing. I think for everyone's account that there will be different Me suits, which kind of I like to use them as coverage fillers now. Like one of the ones I'm looking at right now is the Cheap Sheep Me Racing suit. Just for my account, there's 9 tracks where if I leveled it up to level 6 or something, it would help me out. I think you need to look at them as coverage fillers, and for everybody that's going to be different. And then you need to wait until they get enough tracks to kind of see if it makes sense or not.
Yeah, that's the things with the Me suit. All you need are 2 or 3 tracks, and it's going to be pretty bonkers on those tracks. So, in this case, the Yoshi Valley RT and Riverside Park R might be some options where you don't have anything great. Even Yoshi Island R. But with these Me suits, every track really, really matters, and that's why even though there's not very many. You really 9 tracks for a Me suit is insane because you're probably going to be using it on most of those. So absolutely key there for any type of Me suit. We also have this light blue Yoshi top super driver added to the mix. 1 track released this tour. Obviously 6 is a lot for a super to start. But what's your thoughts on the light blue Yoshi?
I mean, it's kind of the same as any new super driver without a plus skill. You want to see if they're going to help you out in ranked where you don't need to invest in, high-end tickets. So Light Blue Yoshi is a ranked reward week one only, so you can't get in week 2. That would be Yoshi Gold Egg. His skill is Yoshi's Egg, which is it's not the worst skill, but it's definitely not something you're going to score higher than with coin frenzies. Basically his only interesting coverage is getting Baby Park RT, which is in second week ranked, which is an old, it's not the newest track anymore. Baby Park, I think it's 9 months or so, 9 or 10 months old, but it is still like relatively payable. I think you got Larry Wintertime, you got.
Well, I believe the RT. I think the RT came out in like January. It was.
Oh yeah, that's right. It did just come out in the Trick Tour. Sorry, you're right. So that's a newer track. That's
still like I like one thing that stands out to me is taking him up to level 3 for the Baby Park R. Not a bad option when you're considering holding back on King Mario, or maybe you didn't go all in on regular PD Piranha. So. That could be a good option for you if you do all cup ranking, but other than that, though, you got a lot of other options, on different tracks. So, even like Yoshi Circuit R, there's, just really the PD Piranha Misu at their base level, but that's a track where you have other drivers too. It's just such an older track that you're not too worried about it. And Yoshi Valley T, if you have Luigi Vacation, man, that could be like a 300 action count track potentially. It's just absolutely insane. So, I think even getting 200 with this Light Blue Yoshi, it could be possible. So
easily.
So certainly keep that in the back of your mind. And then moving into carts, we got this Bright Girl cart. What's your thoughts on the Bright Girl?
It's kind of hard to get enthusiastic about these cards because they're all so small. It has a really small hitbox. It's not even the smallest one, but talking about the start, it's a week 2 spotlight shop, so we won't see it until next week. It has 10 starting tracks, none of the new tracks except for Yoshi's Island RT, but none of the new retro tracks because of Yoshi's Island and Nitro. It's got 5 newer tracks, so a couple of Yoshi's Valleys, Riverside Park, and 2 Baby Parks, and then it's got 4 older tracks and a couple of Choco Islands and a couple of Donut Plains 2s. I would say the start is not that great. You can use it twice in ranked on week 2. Only Baby Park RT, it's a level 6 unlock. I don't know. Unless you're in love with the color scheme or something, I would say it's not. We get so many cards, and it would have to be a really special starting set of tracks for me to want to invest in a small cart right away.
Yeah, they've kind of done that with these Streetles, but even then, even with that being said, I still probably personally will never invest in these really small cards. I'm with you there.
Oh. Also, the Bright Girl has 5 overlaps with the Tanuki card, and 4 with Purple Bunny. So if you have either of those cards, then it's a definite no.
Super. That Purple Bunny is sneaky good for all cup ranking this tour. I know you and I are big fans of it. We're like the only ones. We got like our own Purple Bunny fan.
Well, it's a small card too, but it was so good back in the day.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Huff and Puffin egg cart. Obviously love the name. Maybe not love the hitbox quite so much. Let's talk about it.
I think I want to buy this one just to use for multiplayer because it's got mini turbo plus, so that's like really good for flat tracks. But if you know the eggs, I use the gold egg and the egg one for multiplayer because they're about the smallest hitbox in the game. They're tiny. So if you want to buy it for scoring, I would say I hope you don't have to do a lot of coin box tracks together with this. But 7 out of its 10 tracks are coin box tracks.
Wow.
It has 10 tracks, 1 new track in Yoshi's Yoshi Desert N, so that's a ranked one. 2 Nitro tracks, Yoshi's Island RRT, 6 recent tracks, so not so old track, a couple Baby Parks, a couple of Boo Lakes, Yoshi's Valley, and Cookie Land, and then 1 old track. So and 3 ranked tracks. Only that Baby Park RT is a level 8 unlock, so more effectively. It's 2 rank tracks. This is a commemorative item, by the way. You can buy it for money. So free-to-play accounts need not apply. The start is actually quite good. 9 out of its 10 tracks are not old tracks. But again, look at the size. It looks cool, but if you don't like small carts, here, let me pull up the rankings of the size rankings of the carts. The eggs are 56% as big as the off-roader, so they're just over half the size of an off-roader. Wow. An effective hitbox. The smallest carts in the game are Mushmallow, Cheermellow, Pinglock, 48%. Oh yeah, and Bright Girl is actually even smaller than the egg at 50%. Wow. So Bright Girl comes in at the second smallest hitbox in the game. So.
Okay. All right, well, we'll pass through that, and shout out to Rashid, who puts together the hitbox sizes. We love Rashid. Don't give him enough credit for everything he does, so thank you, Rashid. A smaller hitbox cart that may be worth investing in because it's running off of the currency of super tickets is this light blue Turbo Yoshi. Obviously 6 tracks to start. Doesn't have a lot of overlap considering. But what's your thoughts on the light blue Turbo Yoshi with 0 tracks released this tour?
Yeah, so no new tracks. It's at 59% hitbox, so still a very, very small cart, but slightly bigger than the other 2. I didn't even write down notes on the tracks because honestly, they're not that good. It's got 3 older tracks through 2 Yoshi Circuit, 2 Dirt Planes. It's got Baby Park RT in week 2. So again, the same as Light Blue Yoshi. If you don't have a cart for that track and you manage to win this as it's a week 1 ranked award and week 1 only, you might use it for Baby Park RT to save some of your high-end tickets, but otherwise, not a fan of its start. The other 2 tracks are a couple of Yoshi's Valleys, which are like, okay, those are like pretty paywall tracks, but they're also not that new anymore. I think they're getting around about a year old now, so we can't really even consider them new tracks anymore.
Makes sense. Let's move to gliders now. We always have to give a shout out to Larry98, who does so much work behind the scenes, putting together his sheet. And so I think we've had so many buffs and so many things happen in the game that his files become so big. Unfortunately, the way that it was populating needed some work. So apologize for this slide, but just know we love you, Larry, and appreciate all the hard work you do. But the Bright Ribbon starts, as we mentioned, with 10 tracks, one of which being a Nitro. But what's your thoughts on this Bright Ribbon?
Yeah, so starting with 10 tracks, how do you feel about how it looks like, by the way? I think you would look really good in a bow tie like that, like one like right here with the light blue and pink. Yeah, so I know I've had some controversial hot takes about the ribbons in general. I think the ribbon, like the actual framing, is just lame. I think it's terribly done. But I loved the look of the Galaxy glider. I thought that but you could put the Galaxy look on just about any frame and it looks awesome. So this one, I actually like the color scheme. I kind of like this cotton candy color scheme. But again, I'm not a big fan of the actual ribbon. Now I will say, if I had a bow tie like this, and I was feeling a little frisky, I could probably pull that off. I probably could pull that off. I probably get made fun of a little bit by my friends, but no, I give this a B-. Yeah, right. Cool. So if the special skill here is Super Horn Plus, which is kind of not that great. It's a week 2 spotlight shop item, so you will not be able to use it in week 1. I didn't really check, but I don't think it can show up randomly. Starting with 10 tracks, none of the new tracks except for 1 Nitro, Yoshi's Island RT, 6, 2, did I say? No, 1 Nitro, 6 newer tracks though, a couple of Riverside Parks, 3 Baby Park variants, and Yoshi Valley. Then finally 3 older tracks. So it's not a bad start. 2 ranked appearances, Yoshi's Island RT in week 2, and Baby Park RT in week 2. So you will be able to use it for both of its ranked appearances. That's okay. It's not the worst start. Getting 3 of those Baby Parks is pretty nice if you don't have coverage on those, and getting 2 Riverside Parks is pretty nice as well. The rest I can kind of leave it behind. I don't know. It's like middle of the pack. The thing is, the other gliders we have this tour look a lot better. So that's, you know, if we had a kind of weak set of gliders, I would say, hey, this one is maybe worth investing in. But you know, if we move on to the other gliders, and we don't have the overlap here, so I'll just tell you what it overlaps the most with.
Yeah.
Four times green Toby balloons, 4 times calico parafoil, 4 times bright balloons, 3 times the new Yoshi's cookies, 3 times the Super Mario Kart glider, 3 times Sky High Flyer, 3 times green sprout, 3 times chocolate pretzel, 3 times candlelight flight cake, and 3 times calico Toby balloons.
All right, that's fair enough. Let's talk about the other gliders that we got this tour, including this Yoshi's Cookie, which looks delicious here. Obviously has 2 nitro tracks, has the Cookie Land in case you haven't invested into a glider on that yet, but does come up with a nice positive number of tracks with 11, a little more than some of the other ones this tour. What's your thoughts on the Yoshi's Cookies?
So for the younger viewers, Yoshi's Cookie was actually a puzzle game, I think, for the SNES back in the day. So this is an homage to Yoshi's Cookie, the game. It looks cool. I like it a lot. This is in the Spotlight shop, so you can buy it for rubies. Special skills Mega Mushroom Plus, which is just an alright skill. 11 starting tracks, so that's the max that we've seen new items get. So that's starting off just number wise is great. It does have quite a few old tracks. It's got a couple of Choco Islands, a couple of Yoshi circuits, so 4 older tracks. It has Cookie Land. Like probably you have a decent option there by now, but if you don't, that is a great, you know, like we see it 2 times, 2 out of 3 tours. You know, it's going to be there. That says to just refuse to add more battle tracks. It's got 2 of the Yoshi's Island, both the ranked ones, so Yoshi's Island and the Yoshi's Island RT. Unfortunately, Yoshi's Island RT is a level 6 unlock, and that has another ranked appearance in Yoshi Valley RT. That's a level 1, so a really good start. You can use it 3 times in rank if you take it to level 6. You know, it's got a Riverside Park 2 and a Baby Park R, and Yoshi Desert T just for good measure. I mean, it's like, I would say this is a pretty strong start. I think it's looks like it will probably be a quality glider going forward.
I will say the only thing that scares me off are the 2 Choco Islands and the 2 Yoshi circuits.
Yeah, sure, but it could also start with 9 tracks and then.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, solid point there. Let's talk about this last glider, which seems to be kind of the fan favorite within the community. The Smiley glider. Talk to us about the 6 tracks released this tour.
Yeah, so Smiley Glider actually shares 4 tracks with Yoshi's Cookies. That's what I was forgot to mention. But also starting with 11 tracks. 2 new tracks, so it's got 2 Yoshi's Desert, 1 ranked and 1 non-ranked. Unfortunately, the ranked one is level 6 unlocked. However, it has 3 ranked appearances in total, and I think they are all. Aside from that level, the other 2 are level 1, available at level 1. So if it was taking level 6, and I've seen a number of people take it to level 6 or higher right away, you can use it 3 times in ranked. This one is a commemorative item, so like the Huff and Puff and Egg, you can buy it for money. So yeah, it's 11 tracks, 2 new tracks, 4 nitro. It's got every single Yoshi's Island variant, so that's maybe cool. Not so useful, but it's really cool, and it has a really unique animation. Those smiley flowers were icons, sprites from the original Yoshi's Island game, and the way they move as you're gliding is the same way they moved in the SNES game Yoshi's Island, so it's really cool. It's got 2 more recent tracks in Riverside Park N and Cookie Land, I guess, and then it's got 4 older tracks, kind of the same. You know, those 2 Choco Islands and the Yoshi Circuit, and what was the last old one? Oh, I guess it's only got 3 old tracks. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. And 3 ranked appearances. So yeah, this one I would say is probably the strongest start. I don't know. To be honest, Yoshi's Cookie, Smiley Flower Glider, they're both really strong starts. I think. Look at the one which adds the most to your account. The fact that Smiley Flower has the 4 Yoshi's Islands may kind of take some value out of it going forward. We don't know when we're going to see this one again. You know, like Sky High Sunday, we still haven't seen it may just be like a reliable once, twice a year, kind of the same as the other nitros. So it's really cool that it has all 4 of Yoshi's Island variants, but it might hurt it a bit. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up between this one and the Yoshi's Cookies. Which one is the best? But they both have very, very strong starts. Overlap-wise, not even that bad. 4 times Yoshi's Cookies, 3 times Strawberry Donut, 3 times Royal Parachute, 3 times Chocolate Banana Crepe, and 3 times Calico Parafoil. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I love when something has like all the variants. That's something I'm really, really crazy about. The thing I'm not crazy about are all 4 of those tracks we may not see for 12 months. So that part is actually probably more alarming to me than even looking at the Yoshi cookie. But this looks beautiful. I love the look of it. And for those who have invested in Giant Banana, who want to get the Banana Plus for the smaller bananas they come out, I've seen a lot of people invest in it, and it looks beautiful. It really scares me that this will be a nitro track and that we won't see it anytime soon. So that for me is enough to deter me from doing anything crazy with it, but you never know. It looks beautiful. We'll see what the future holds for it. Certainly would be happy to invest in if it gets good buffs in future tours. Just off this tour, I'm not excited.
For me personally, I'm kind of the same way. For me, it's a buy it once and stash it, and if it gets good later.
I'm with you there. Let's talk about the Daily Spotlight Shop. Really for drivers, don't really want to talk too much, except for the fact that Toad Astronaut is absolutely bonkers right now. If he pops in your shop, you don't have him, highly recommend taking a look at to see if he works for your account, especially if you don't have an option for ranked, which you probably don't, because he's just got like these crazy, insane top shelves on ranked. So again, that's really all I want to talk about. Everything else was kind of a pity vote for. But anyway, anytime you see the Studfit logo, this is just simply a nudge, or just highly recommending you take a look at your account and see if it makes sense for your account. Now moving to karts, I think karts are what I'm the most excited about. There's some really good gliders too, but karts, one of the things that we do with the algorithm is there's some predictive aspects of it built in. So when items that are in the top 10 are in ranked the following tour and the following tour after that, that's because Antilev has done a phenomenal job with the algorithm. So likewise, we see a lot of the top 10 items in ranked and then also in the Spotlight Shop because it's in ranked. So one of the things I usually go from top to bottom, but I'll kind of talk about the ones that I highly recommend first, if that's okay. I'll start with the Moo Moo Off-Roader, Blazing Eagle, and the Flowery Badwagon. I think are probably the top 3 in my opinion, just because. Oh, and then Blooper Shuttle, top 4, just because they're new. Well, I will say the Flowery Badwagon is not so new. So Blooper Shuttle and Moo Moo Off-Roader and Blazing Eagle, probably the top 3. They're newer. They're peaking right now, and they're probably going to continue to peak. So those are kind of the 3 highlighted ones, with kind of this next tier of the Lightning Streamliner, the Flowery Badwagon, and the Shielded Speedster right there, kind of in that second tier. Then we have the Armored Rider that and Canoe. Sorry, I'll probably put the Camo Tanuki Kart right there, and that probably right between tier 1 and tier 2. Well, kind of it's a tier 1.2 there. So just again, kind of to make things more clear, because I made it really muddy there. I would probably put the Blooper Shuttle and Moo Moo Off-Roader and Blazing Eagle kind of in that top tier. The tier below that, just Camo Tanuki by himself, and then kind of this little older but still like really good coverage would be Lightning Streamliner, the Flowery Badwagon, and the Shielded Speedster. Whereas like the Armored Rider is below that, and then you got of course the Gold Bullet Bill, which has kind of fallen off a little bit here lately, but it's still got really good coverage. And then a sneaky one that I'm putting in there, I kind of have 2 sneaky. Kind of the first one out though would be the Goo Goo Black and the Rainbow Taxi. The Rainbow Taxi went up a lot, kind of a good mover shaker this tour, and the Goo Goo Black has been just outside the top 20 for a while and just broke in, and I think right there at 20, but went up like 8 spots. So put it up there in case you need some help on maybe some of these baby parks. But I'm really excited about the karts. Really, any of these karts that I'm nudging in the right way. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, to be honest with you. Again, some of these are a little bit more riskier than others. I did leave the Streetle off. I'm just kind of tired of it, to be honest with you. I know it's in the top 15, but man, I think if you didn't invest in it already, just let it go. Just let it go. Just like Frozen Man, just let it go. Moving to gliders, I will say the number one glider you have to invest in is the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, guys. If you don't have it, you haven't invested in it, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's done everything and more. It's like literally blown every record out of the book. I mean, we're talking about surpassing what Wonderful Wings was last year, and now it's like up there with like the history or Hall of Fame presence that Black Ray Sail had. And it might even be surpassing that at this point. But some other great ones in there too. I don't necessarily kind of have them in any specific tier. They're all pretty good. You know, we got the record setter, which has been good and then died off and then risen from the dead a little bit and then died off again. And then here it is, probably actually one of its best performances to date. You know, it was in the number 1 for a couple weeks, but since then, it's never been this high in our top 10, so really got to applaud that. Some other options there. You got Icy Mario's mustache has been crushing lately. Both of the gem, the Wonderful Garnet and Wonderful Diamond are doing pretty well. Obviously, you know, not both of them are here, but just the Garnet is. And then the Yellow Hard Hat. You know, if you haven't been paying attention, it's got some really paywalled buffs this tour. One of the things that I probably would have that's kind of scaring me on this list is the Fuzzy Kite, but it didn't have a good tour this tour. We'll get to a little bit later potentially, but it was doing really well and it was peaking, and Antilev was all about it, but this tour not so much. So that was one of my first out there on the list, but I think everything else here, and one of the sneaky ones is the Luigi hat. I know we've been talking a lot about the Mario hat, but Luigi hat I think did break our top 20, maybe 25, and but it went up a substantial amount, enough. I think it went up 10 spots or so. So one to put on this list is it's one of those options on that sneaky top shelf. But Antilev, what's your thoughts on my choices for the Daily Spotlight Shop?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think I mostly agree with you. The one thing that what was I going to say? Did you have the Coral Jet Cruiser?
I left that off. It felt, you know, I think one of the reasons being is it's so old, and I think it dropped off like 3 or 4 spots.
I think there's a lot of good cards on this list. Like I was looking at some of these cards that like Prop Card. I know a lot of people have gotten a lot of use out of that one, even if it's not the most meta anymore. Ice Cream Minibus, Strawberry Soft Swerve. There's some good cards that I mean, there's just too many to list, right? You know, and it's kind of the same thing with the we have a lot of good gliders in the game right now. You know, 8-Bit Bullet Bill is a good glider. It's in ranked again on one of the new. I think it's on one of the Yoshi Deserts. That's a nice one. Fuzzy Kite, we'll talk about it later. It did get a buff, but not on par with some of the other stuff in the game. But other than that, I can't really, I can't really disagree with any of your choices.
All right, let's get into those buffs then. We got drivers with 4 buffs. We got Toadette Astronaut and the Pokey Me Racing Suit. Certainly, you like the Yoshi Desert RT, a nice little Pokey Me rank track, but I'd say probably stay away from Toadette Astronaut if you can. There are drivers with 3 buffs, and so obviously Charging Chuck Gold and Toad Astronaut are the most notable. Gold Charging Chuck in ranked for the Yoshi Yoshi Desert RT. A great track for him. It does get the Yoshi Island R, which you like, and the Yoshi Desert. So really all 3 brand new tracks. They're not one of the old circulating tracks. Not that he would be getting those necessarily anyway, because he's seen some of them, but that's a really good performance for Gold Charging Chuck, which, you know, I think at this point in time, for how long he's been in the game, walking away with 3 grid buffs there is phenomenal. As for Toad Astronaut, you got the Yoshi Valley RT, a phenomenal buff for him, as he is like really your only option on that track. And then you also got the Yoshi Island R, which is a nice consolation prize. But again, you know, he does get the Baby Park T, new-ish track. And I think that not a lot of people had a lot of great options on there. I think Pink Shy Guy Ninja was one that many people were using. But I mean, I think with this track, it's actually a pretty good boombox track. It's 3 laps, but compared to 5 laps, it's a little shorter technically. So you like boomboxing on those shorter tracks, as we kind of talked about. You also have Yellow Shy Guy Explorer and Koopa Free Running. What's your thoughts here, Antilev, on these drivers with the most buffs?
Yeah, so Gold Chuck is clearly the big winner here. Because 2 of those tracks, Yoshi's Desert R and Yoshi's Island R, are Coinbox exclusives for him, so no other Coinbox driver on those tracks. Toad Astronaut is bit unlucky because he doesn't get credit on Yoshi Valley RT for having an exclusive, even though effectively he is an exclusive top skill driver for week 1 in ranked, but Poochie has it. Even though but the thing is, you can't get Poochie to use him in ranked 1, so as you said, he is the only option for a plus skill driver, but the model doesn't give him credit going forward, unfortunately. But that is an amazing buff. If it were an exclusive, it would be the single most valuable. I checked the numbers, it would be the single most valuable buff in the tour. Toad Astronaut is crushing it. We could, Studfit and I had kind of a conversation just discussing how we're going. We're mostly kind of on our main accounts, which are pretty heavy pay-to-win accounts, trying to focus more on Mii's, and we were talking, it kind of feels like a bit of a waste to put tickets into non-Mii drivers, just because we feel like they're going to get superseded eventually by Mii's. But Spode is on such an amazing run right now that, like, honestly, I can't, I have him at level 6 in triple cap, my free-to-play account. And man, he like almost single-handedly got me to tier 80. Like he's been so good. So yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, just if you're only looking at ranked, he's got to be a couple players all-stars, because he's actually been crushing it. And that's what I mean. Honestly, if you're looking to just ride a wave for a little bit. 12 tickets here, 14 tickets here, whatever it was to take him up. Well worth it to have him just to level 7 or 6 or 5 or whatever it might be, because he's gonna win you some weeks. It's plain and simple. Of course, he's gonna die off here, this summer, but you at least got some worth out of him. You can't say that about everybody, so that's certainly well worth taking note of. Moving into drivers with 2 buffs. Yoshi Gold Egg Gold something, obviously a huge winner here with 2 ranked tracks, both Yoshi Desert and Yoshi Desert RT. These are the ones you want, guys, because again, the Yoshi, the other Yoshi track here, Yoshi Island, it seems to be that it's going to be more of a track that we may not see very often as a nitro track. So you want these deserts. This could come back 3 or 4 times the rest of this year. So you absolutely love that, and so he is. For somebody who was, basically left for dead, this is a nice little shock to the chest here to get him alive, because I think these are 2 tracks where he is bonkers good. As for Larry, Wintertime, not so great. Certainly glad that he got a nice Yoshi's Island T track, but it's not in ranked, and you never know when it's going to come back again. So I don't know. We're keeping an eye on Larry. Is he going to have an RIP next to his name here in the next couple of tours? Because we're well past the winter time. We're moving into spring, moving into summer, and you just wonder how much wintertime stuff is going to get kind of that tie-in with the brand. Other than that, you got a couple Mii suits here. You do get the light blue, getting the Yoshi Island RT rank track. Other than that, it's pretty bleak there for the drivers with 2 buffs. A lot of Mii suits, but not a lot of ranked options there. You do have Luigi Chef getting the Yoshi Valley RT. Then for drivers, 1 buff, kind of this starts on this slide, moves to the next. But Gold Mii Racing Suit, obviously, very efficient, as he got this Yoshi Desert track. Absolutely bonkers. When I opened it up, I was like, this has got to be a Mii boost somehow.
A mid-shelf, yeah.
A mid-shelf.
It's not.
It's not, dude. He's just like, this is, I'm telling you, the Gold Mii suit is going to follow a buffing trend unlike any driver in the game. I can see this continuing to happen, especially as they've been really focusing in on getting people going up the tiers and winning ranked. This Gold Mii suit is always going to be a carrot they're going to be dangling at that tier 80. We also have Daisy Tie Dress getting that same track, which is kind of uneventful for her, as many people will probably be investing in that Gold Mii suit for an extra, couple thousand points for the same run. But there are a lot of people who still are not at tier 80, and Daisy Tie Dress is going to be their best option for sure. Question Mark Block gets a great buff here on Yoshi's Desert RT. Obviously, that's phenomenal for him. And then PD Piranha Mii Racing Suit getting the Yoshi Island. Now I know it's a nitro track, but this is an awesome track for him, as it's basically by far the best option you have here on this track. I will say it is really hard to boombox. You only got the gold egg, Yoshi Gold Egg Gold something on that middle shelf. So unless you're getting him, it could take you an hour just to get the right lobby. But he's certainly one of your best options for that track. PD Piranha Gold, again, big whiff for him. Big loser this tour. You just got the Donut Plains 2R. They could have given him so many things, so many desert stuff. It would have made so much sense for PD Gold, but no, they're doing him dirty, guys. I'm really scared. He's someone I invested in early, and I'm really, really scared about that. And we also have the PD Piranha, the Yoshi Desert. Honestly, I'm really hyped up about these drivers that got 1 buff, more than I am the drivers with 2 buffs. But Antilev, what's your thoughts on all the drivers mentioned on this slide?
Yeah, the PD Piranha, we talk a lot about Gold Me, but PD Piranha Me Racing Suit is right behind him in terms of getting consistent ranked buffs. And if I don't have Gold, famously, I don't have the Gold Me Suit leveled up yet. But I'm not even missing it this tour because I've got that level 8 PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, and he's just crushing it. Larry, it's hard, right? Because the 2 tracks he got, they're both Coinbox exclusives, right? But he got and he is in ranked this tour. He's top shelf on Baby Park RT, but this is a horrible track for Coinbox, so like the model gives him credit for it, but like go try and race that track with him. It's like I kinda would rather do Lucky 7 on that track. Yeah, sorry, I don't know.
I'm with you.
I think you hit most of the points I got. I think it's cool that Mario Satellaview got Yoshi Desert ranked track for him. We haven't seen much out of him lately. All these Yoshi's Islands it's hard because Yoshi's Island is like now up there with Ninja Hideaway for my favorite track in the game. But as a Nitro, it's kind of difficult. But yeah, like it's what you said. We have a lot of one-hit wonders here, drivers that got one good ranked track, Tide Daisy, a Gold Me suit, and Question Block Me Racing suit got the RT, so that's another great ranked buff for another overpowered Coinbox Me driver. So yeah,
I'm with you there. Maybe not so eventful on this slide, but a couple boomerang drivers to start out with Luigi United and Luigi and Mario Samurai. Fortunately, both of those not in ranked with the Yoshi Desert T. I will say this, Kitsune Luigi, I did include him on the Spotlight Shop. He's been kind of sneaky. He's in our top 20, but he's got this ranked track up to 27 assumed tracks, 7 cities. We might be sleeping on him. And I know he doesn't have a plus skill, but it's it's on the kind of the fringe there. It's not a bad skill. I mean, I think everyone's kind of frustrated with the Super Leaf and kind of the bubble type look to it, feel to it. But he's been really good when it comes to his coverage. Just want to put that out there for what it's worth. Santa Misu got the Baby Park T. Again, for all cup ranking, that's nice. But I mean, again, I kind of fall in the same thing as Larry Wintertime. We're not seeing a lot of spring action from these winter type characters. But we always knew that was going to be the case with the winter curse. We do have Yoshi Kangaroo, though, getting this nice Yoshi Desert, which is in ranked. Obviously, there's some better options there, but it's nice to see Yoshi Kangaroo getting some love as he, I think he fits that track really, really well for obvious reasons. And then else, I'm not necessarily going to mention too much else. I will say this Donkey Kong Me Racing Suit getting Yoshi Desert, pretty slick move there. If you're in the Banana Republic. But yeah, and I think some people are even using the Silver Me Racing Suit on that Yoshi Island. Not a bad option there as well. And you also have the Shy Guy Ninja with that same Yoshi Island. Not a bad option either. But overall, this is kind of the leftovers. These are kind of the scraps. I mean, really what you saw in that last slide are the ones you're going to want to be using. These are nice consolations. But man, if you got the Gold Me suit, I don't know what you're waiting for, Antilev. Man, he's absolutely crushing it. You're not going to miss out, man. Go ahead and invest in him. What's your thoughts on these? What's your thoughts on these drivers?
Nothing really to add here. We have a lot of buffs this tour, 293 buffs in total. That's a combination of having 9 new tracks, and also having a lot of like returning tracks that we haven't seen in a long time. We haven't seen Boo Lake in a long time, Donut Plains 2, Choco Island 1, Riverside Park, I think it's been a while. We were discussing this also before the show. Nintendo's been doing a really good job of recycling and rotating the tracks. I think in the last 10 tours we've seen all but 50 350 out of the 308 retro tracks that are in the game, retro and nitro tracks that are in the game. So it's they've been doing a really good job. But the fact that so many tracks that we haven't seen in a while keep coming back means that there's a lot of buffs all the time. So that's why there's so many buffs here on the slides. And I think only, but the thing is, yeah, most of them are on the new tracks. I think 72 out of those 100 buffs for the drivers are either on Yoshi Island, Yoshi Desert, Yoshi Valley RT.
Yeah. Well, certainly, one of the things you don't see is Boo Lake on this slide. It's kind of a lot of the newer tracks that they're buffing there. It's interesting that they're kind of the way they're doing it there. Let's talk about the karts. We got the Rainbow Streetle, Rainbow Taxi, 8-bit, Gold Pipe Frame, Gold Capsule Kart, and Sakura Sports Coupe, all getting 4 buffs. One thing about that you like for the Rainbow Streetle, which has been kind of sneaky good here lately, does get the Yoshi Desert RT.
4 buffs.
Four buffs, 1 rank buff. Certainly 3 of them being newer tracks, one of which being Nitro. I think though, one of the winners here could be the Rainbow Taxi, and that does get the Baby Park, some other action here too. But as I mentioned, was kind of sneaky good, and that it's been going up the list. And honestly, all these karts are pretty small. It's the bigger of these small items here, so you gotta like that. But overall, I would say probably all 5 of these karts you could certainly pass on. But it is nice to know that they're giving some love to these smaller karts and trying to overcompensate a little bit. Let's move to karts with 3 buffs. Obviously, big move here with the Blazing Eagle. We've been talking about it for a while. Got this Yoshi Desert. Love that track for the Blazing Eagle. It's a really hard track to cover. Pretty paywalled in some respects, but also got the Yoshi Desert T and the Yoshi Yoshi Island R. So got a lot of Yoshi love. Certainly only one of the Nitro tracks. Camo Tanuki carts, number 3 card, as you can see there, got the Yoshi Desert R and the Yoshi Valley RT, which is in ranked. Those are kind of the 2 that stand out. Everything else is not necessarily that interesting. But what's your thoughts here, Antilev, about these karts with the most buffs?
Yeah, I mean, what do you always say? Rich get richer. I mean, we got some ones here that are like pretty high. Camo Tanuki Kart, a Blazing Eagle. The Rainbow Streetle and the Rainbow Taxi have been doing really well as well lately. Like with drivers, there was one driver who got a buff on 2 new rank tracks, and that's Gold Yoshi with Yoshi Desert N and RT. No karts got 2 new rank tracks, so they've done a pretty good job of spreading the love around and not over favoring one specific item. But if you look at the quality of these buffs, like Blazing Eagle, 2 Yoshi's Deserts and a Yoshi Island. Camo Tanuki Car got Yoshi Desert R, Yoshi Valley RT. Okay, one of them is Donut Plains 2 RT, but still, like, those are 2 really, really high value buffs. The Rainbow Streetle getting 4 buffs, and 2 of them are Yoshi's Deserts, 1 in a ranked one, and a Yoshi's Island. I'm not seeing a lot of like Choco Islands here or Donut Plains or Yoshi circuits. They're mostly like newer quality buffs.
I'm with you there. I do take back the Rainbow Taxi. That did get the Yoshi Circuit T. Not a big fan of that, but I think overall though you're right. Not a lot of these karts are getting the old fashioned slap up of the Yoshi and the Choco Island, etc. So that part is nice. To finish out the karts with the rest of the kart buffs, we do have some karts with 2 buffs that are notable. Most notable would be the Blooper Shuttle, getting the Desert T, and the Yoshi Valley RT. Now, although the Yoshi Valley RT, as we talked about, is a little bit older, or I guess not necessarily older, but I think we were all really enticed by the desert track. But this Yoshi Valley RT, one of the hardest ones to cover for really any of the skills, driver's karts or gliders. So this is a huge win for the Blooper Shuttle. Red Off-Roader got the Yoshi Desert T and the Yoshi Island T, so 2 T tracks there. Certainly the rich get richer in that respect. One I was really surprised about was the Blue Carly kart. It did get the Boo Lake R, and as we talked about, this really tough track to cover, which is this Yoshi Valley RT. I wasn't sure what was going to happen to it after last tour. Last tour, it did not get great. It got a large quantity of buffs, but low quality. This tour,
Yeah.
I'd say medium of both. 2 buffs, one in ranked. One of them
one really good and one kind of middle to above average.
Yeah. So although you see it in the top 10, that's a lot having to do with its hitbox. I'm still saying it's up in the air. I'm not sure if it will continue to climb or if it'll hit some type of ceiling here. I will say you like that it did get this really good buff. If it got another bad buff, kind of like last tour, and it just got 2 bad buffs, I'd be probably worried about it. Now I'm not as worried about it, but it's still kind of a wait and see for me. If you didn't invest in it already, a lot of people already invested, so I know I'm making a lot of people angry already. But I think if you have not invested in it, just still wait and see. If you like the way it looks, though, again, you've probably already invested in it. Purple Dozer, nothing in rank though, so that's this is one that we had pop into our top 10, top 15, and I think unfortunately, this is a big loss for it. It did get the Yoshi Desert T, but it's not in ranked. It's not a bad track to get, as it will be assumed and coming back. But again, it's kind of another wait and see. Again, compared to the Blooper Shuttle and the Red Off-Roader, I think just a couple options here, not quite as exciting. You have the Goo Goo Black Disc, get this Yoshi Valley RT, and I think it's one of the reasons why it kind of went up in our list. Everything else I'm not really too excited about. I think really the one winner on this slide, of course, you got Blooper Shuttle there with carts with 2 buffs. But then as we move down to the bottom, these are the carts with 1 buffs, kind of a whole 3 kind of overflow from this next slide. But we have Moo Moo Off-Roader. And although it's a Yoshi Island track, this RT track, it's a great buff for it. It's in ranked and a very efficient buff for what is one of the largest hitboxes in the game. And one of the newer and uprising ones. So really good there. And then we also have the Flowery Badwagon, which has the Yoshi Desert. This if you're only going to get 1 track, that's a good one to get. You also have the Shields. Unfortunately, though, there are some other meta level carts that have this track, including Shield and Speedster and a few others. So that part's tough. Myself having invested in both the Flowery Badwagon and the Shield Speedster kind of hurts a little bit. But I think overall, this is a track that we'll see back over again. So if you had to pick between them, certainly you have a couple options. Make sure you're covered on that track. You also have this Yellow Off-Roader getting the Yoshi Desert. Armored Rider getting the Yoshi Valley RT. Lightning Streamliner getting the same Yoshi Valley RT. A couple other options. Coral Jet Cruiser did get the Yoshi Island RT, but kind of talked about that one falling a little bit. Flaming Speeder getting that Yoshi Valley RT, good buff there. Ice Cream Minibus getting Yoshi Island, and Piranha Pipes getting Yoshi Desert. So those kind of ones I wanted to mention on this side. Anything you want to mention between those last 2 cart slides?
Yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot on the 2 buff slide. I will tell you that I have a tie for the worst buffs among the two buff carts. Wild Gold got Choco Island 1R and Donut Plains 2.
Oh my gosh.
That's completely useless. And then what was the other one? I lost my place. It's not Purple Dozer.
Gold Jingle Bell, maybe?
Yes, the Gold Jingle Bell. Yeah, that is exactly the one. It's
Choco Island
1T and Donut Plains 2R. I mean, come on. These carts are already struggling enough as it is. You're just going to give them that. I thought it was pretty cool that the Sky Blue B-Dasher Mark II got two buffs, both Yoshi's Island tracks. So Yoshi's Island T and then the ranked Yoshi's Island Night for an Old One. And, we got a couple of the, single prop cart Yoshi Desert RT, that's a ranked one. Shield Speeder Yoshi Desert, that's a ranked one. Lightning Streamliner Yoshi Valley RT, Ice Cream Minibus Yoshi Island, and some really really good quality cards that got single good quality buffs, and those are that's what you want to see. Items that we've had high up in our ranking for a long time, they're past the point of the buffing curve where they're not getting 2, 3, 4, 5 buffs per tour anymore. If they just get 1 buff, let's make it a buff that counts. Look, Armored Rider got Yoshi Valley RT. That's been top 1 cart somewhere a year ago.
Yep.
So if you invest in those things, if you follow our model, you're getting really good value for your money on those. I think it's just how Nintendo likes to do things. They pick their favorites early on and they just roll with it.
Yep. Yep. And we're pointing them out. That's why we're here. That's why you guys are watching. Let's move into gliders as we round things out. We got the wonderful Diamond getting the Boo Lake, Yoshi Desert R, and the Baby Park RT. It's okay. I'd say you're happy with 1.5 of those. Yeah. I will say the Gold Hard Hat is finally getting some attention with the Yoshi Desert RT, but the other two tracks, not so great. I mean, most of us were already pretty well covered on Yoshi Valley T and the Chaco Island 1T. So, I don't know. Mixed reviews still for the Gold Hard Hat. We'll get to it in a little bit. His little brother, Yellow Hard Hat, is crushing it. Yeah. I think if they weren't the same exact thing, just one's gold and one's not, we wouldn't be dogging the Gold Hard Hat more.
Right. It's always going to be compared to the Yellow Hard Hat.
It's always going to be compared to it. Yeah, man. Yeah. The Nabbit Parachute did get the ranked Yoshi Desert. The Gold Candlelight Flight did get the Yoshi Yoshi Desert RT. 8-bit Block Glider did get the Yoshi Desert RT. But two garbage tracks with that. So that's unfortunate there for the 8-bit Block Glider. Really don't have too much more to talk about. The Gold Umbrella to get the Yoshi Desert RT. That's about it, man. Boo Masks to get this Yoshi Desert RT, but man, these gold items are so hard to invest in. Even like a cool looking one like this gold Boo Masks, I still feel like I can't invest in just because it's just so dumpy, man. Yeah, let's move to gliders with one buff, just because we have to move forward with time. Yellow Hard Hat did get the Yoshi Desert T. Decent, yeah. It'll be reoccurring. But then we also most importantly, got the Yoshi Valley RT, which is a really tough track to cover. So huge win there for the Yellow Hard Hat. And that's why it's the number one glider in the game. A former number one glider, the Sakura Origami Glider, unfortunately a big loser this tour. Did not get any rank track. Did get the Yoshi Desert R, but that's not nothing worth writing home about. Wonderful Garnet did get two new tracks, one of which being this ranked Yoshi Desert. That's a big win there. Luigi's Hat getting two Yoshi Islands, the T and the RT. RT obviously being ranked. Gold Meteors. Actually, this is one that I kind of had first out. I actually almost wanted to put it on as one to pick up if it shows up in your daily spotlight. It's been actually kind of sneaky good in that here it is getting the Yoshi Desert RT. Again, I'm always skeptical of these gold items, no matter if they come from a premium challenge or not. But this is a ranked track. It's got 25 assumed tracks, 3 cities. It's a low number of cities, decent number of tracks for something that's relatively newer. So just kind of pointing that out there. And then a lot of people invested in this 8-bit Goomba. Did get the Yoshi Desert. That part's a win. Unfortunately, Donut Plains 2 RT, not a win. So kind of similar to this 8-bit Block Glider. Both of these 8-bit Goombas kind of and both of these two 8-bit items kind of neck and neck. Both of them got one good track and at least one terrible track. So fortunate there. But and then finally at the very, very bottom, you'll notice two gliders that we have to talk about that overflow from the next slide. And that's the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. Getting this Yoshi Island RT. The rich get richer, guys. This is why we have the algorithm. Because this 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, if you invest in it when it first broke our top 10, or when it first was in the number one spot for like months now, it's just paying off dividends because it's in ranked again. You've been crushing it. Prop Amp Balloons, it's very efficient with this beautiful buff. I mean, this is like the ideal buff you want to get for a brand new for a glider buff, and that's getting this Yoshi Desert. It's a ranked track, and also it's reoccurring. So if you're only going to get one, might as well be efficient with it. But before we move forward, and stuff, what do you want to say about these wonderful gliders?
I think you hit all the points I wanted to hit. I mean, it's 8-bit. We have a lot of examples here of like gliders that got like one great buff and then one or two terrible ones next to it. Like Yoshi Desert is kind of a pity because Yoshi Desert RT gets dinged a bit. The super flower glider is top shelf there, which you probably already have at a pretty high level. I mean, I think I'm using it on my main account because it's like level 8 already. So I mean, like, why wouldn't I use a super glider that's level 8 instead of investing in something? So that's kind of a pity, and that's why those Yoshi Desert RT buffs aren't that valuable. But the rest, it's nice to see Nabbit Parachute get some love, even though, you know, it got kind of one new one recent one, and one old one in Donut Place 2 RT. But I got the Bootleg RT in Yoshi's Desert, which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Yellow Hard Hat has just been on a tear. I think it's a pity that Wonderful Diamond is not in the Spotlight Shop, because now is about the right time to invest in that one. That one is going really well. It's helping me out a lot in ranked on my free-to-play account.
Yeah, good point. That's not there. And also the Gold Hard Hat, for what it's worth, in case you wanted it, it's still not there. Maybe as
I don't know if it ever will be, you know, just because it was that weird paywall thing.
Yeah, if it does come back, it would probably come back at the gold rate, which would be a much more rare rate. Yeah. Again, you're not necessarily missing out on too much, but for what it's worth, it's just noticeable and wanting to point out. As for the other ones, Record Setter does get a nice efficient buff here with the Yoshi Island. Huge win there for an older glider. You also got the Icy Mario's mustache. A lot of people have been sleeping on it because we got so many mustaches, but this one is by far the best mustache, and that's with this Yoshi Valley RT. We've already talked about being a really tough track to cover. Black Star Shoot, huge win here with the Yoshi Desert ranked track. You gotta like that. And Mint and Berry Balloons getting the Yoshi Island. Calico Tomian Balloons been really rising up and quite the mover. Shaker with 23 assumed tracks, 7 cities, number 15 on our list. We talked about this Fuzzy Kite. Huge womp, a big loss for the Fuzzy Kite, which we were having some high hopes here recently with. Fortunately, gets a non-ranked Yoshi Desert. Now, Yoshi Desert R might come back in a future tour, so don't get too carried away. But this tour could have gotten a better buff for sure. Fire Manta Glider did get the Yoshi Desert. Big win there for it. It's been actually surging quite a lot here lately. So if you have to invest in it, I think it's going to actually pan out to be pretty well for you. Flying Flappers did get the Yoshi Desert. Tulip Corsage got this really tough Yoshi Valley R2. I've never seen a track that's more hard to cover than this Yoshi Valley RT. It's absolutely impossible to cover really well. I'm rolling with, I think, a level 3 glider, and my count's pretty beefy. 8-Bit Bullet Bill did get the Yoshi Desert RT with a big win there. Silver Luigi Mustache did get the Yoshi Valley RT. That's really all I'm going to mention. Anything you want to mention here, Ansel?
Fire Manta Gliders have been kind of sneaky good, getting that Yoshi Desert buff. And what did you say? Icy Mario's mustache. I think you mentioned that one already, right?
That one's crap.
Tulip Corsage. That's an option on that Yoshi Valley RT, which is like super difficult to cover. Other than that, yeah, no, I think you hit all the points.
Okay. Based on time, and unfortunately, I have to run here in probably about 10-15 minutes. Let's get to the top 10 drivers. We got Toad Astronaut, 21 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro, still 78 tracks, a whopping 78 tracks left to see. That's insane. He's got some good pairings to cover 100. And so I do want to talk about this. So as we kind of talked about, there were some things going on with the Larry 98 spreadsheet. So these are just pictures of his coverage. If you'd like to go see more, it may or may not see some changes in the next couple weeks. But these are his tracks on the right. Typically, they show some overlap, which we'll get to here on the next slide. But when it says 21 assumed tracks, these are tracks that are not Nitro. These are tracks that we will see multiple times. If you're doing all cup ranking, it's really, really helpful because we're going to see it over and over again. Nitro would include the tracks such as Sky High Sunday, or Merry Mountain, or any of the cities as well, kind of lumped into this Nitro category. We'd like to have it be city in the future, but for what it's worth right now, it is Nitro. We still give credit in the algorithm to Nitro tracks as compared to the cities, but we're lumping together for the sake of this slide. When you see 78 tracks left to see, once a item sees a track, it either will get that track as a buff or it will not, and that will be its future forever. And then on the left, you see the top pairing. So these 3 items, so Daisy Tie Dress, Pink Shy Guy Ninja, and Mario Samurai, those along with Toad Astronaut will cover 100 of the assumed 284 tracks in the game. there's also a second pairing, PD Piranha, Daisy Tidress, and Meowser, that will also cover the 284 tracks. So these pairings, both option 1 and 2, will add 80 tracks to Toad Astronaut's 21 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro. So want to explain that as the first time talking about it, and we'll breeze through the next couple ones. There also is some top skill overlap. So if you're looking at investing in Toad Astronaut, just be aware that Lakitu Party Time does overlap with him 4 times, and Mario Satellite View 3 times. Neither one are concerning. Some of these are concerning because you have like Meowser or Gold Mii-suit or PD Piranha Mii-suit. These two, not worried about. Go ahead and invest in Toad Astronaut if you have to for ranked. It's going to be probably a safe investment for the next 3 to 6 months. Meowser though, huge. He's been a huge driver for sure. Unfortunately, he falls 3 spots to number 9. He has 30 assumed tracks, 4 Nitro, 1 track left to see. Some good pairings covering 105 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with Mario's Samurai and 6 times with Kamek. We have Larry Wintertime, 24 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, still 61 tracks left to see, which is surprisingly high, to be honest with you. Does have some good pairings here with Yoshi Gold Egg, Gold Something, Meowser, PD Piranha as option A. You also have Daisy Tidress, Mario Samurai, and White Tanuki Mario. Those 2 pairings, each covering 97 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 6 times with Rosalina Chef, 5 times with Gold PD Piranha, and 4 times with Daisy Tidress and the Santa Mii-suit. Those ones you could be kind of concerned about, well, at least with PD Piranha Gold Suit and Daisy Tidress, because they have bigger hitboxes than Larry Wintertime. But again, 5 and 4 is not that big of a deal. PD Piranha Gold, 25 assumed tracks, 8 Nitro. He's up 1. The thing is, he still has 26 tracks left to see. I'm a little scared about his future. I don't think he'll ever be our number 1 driver in the game, which I was expecting him to have reached at this point. But no, he's sticking out here outside the top 5. Some good pairings covering 101 of the 284 tracks. Those overlap 6 times with Pink Shy Guy Ninja, 5 times with some smaller hitbox driver coin boxers, including Gold Yoshi Gold Egg Something and Larry Wintertime, along with PD Piranha. We do have Yoshi Gold Egg, 31 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see. Does overlap, some pairings with PD Piranha, Meowser, and Daisy Tidress, covering 105 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with Gold Mii-suit. That's a very alarming high number with arguably the number 1 driver in the game for the rest of the year, and with also Vol and Dom. 6 times with Luigi Knight and Gold Charging Chuck, and also Daisy Tidress. So then at number 5, PD Piranha Mii-suit, crushing it right now. 21 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, which is great for a Mii-suit. 8 tracks left to see. Good pairing with 100 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with regular PD Piranha, 4 times with Gold Yoshi Gold Egg Something. Question mark Block Suit, 27 assumed tracks, 8 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see. Does overlap 6 times with Mario Satellite View, 4 times with Bowser Santa and Daisy Tidress. I'm not concerned about the overlap at all for him. The one thing he has really good with is that he doesn't have a lot of overlap. That's for sure. Daisy Tidress does fall 1 spot. 33 assumed tracks, 12 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Some really good pairings with, as you can see, a whopping 107 of the 284 tracks. Unfortunately, she does overlap 7 times with Gold Mii-suit, which is really alarming, and 7 times with Yoshi Kangaroo. We also have Gold Charging Chuck up 1 spot to number 2, 29 assumed tracks, 13 Nitro. This is a big tour for him. 8 tracks left to see. 107 of the 284 tracks can be met with this pairing. Does overlap 6 times with Gold Yoshi Gold Something and his non-gold counterpart. You also have the Gold Mii Racing Suit, 29 assumed tracks, 15 Nitro. By far the number 1 driver in the game. 1 track left to see. Got some great pairings for 101 of the 284 tracks. Those overlap 7 times with the Gold Yoshi Gold Something, 6 times with Peach Happy, and then a couple others with Meowser and Luigi Vacation. So as we talked about, Gold Mii-suit, even with a great tour from Gold Charging Chuck, still has almost 5 points on Gold Charging Chuck Gold at a number 1 spot. Daisy Tidress, number 3, we already talked about that. She fell down 1. Big riser here, Yoshi Gold Egg, went up 5 spots for obvious reasons, as it's the Yoshi Tour. We'll see if he falls back down to earth. Every time we have a tour like this, you see a big increase. We'll see what happens going forward. I will say Toad Astronaut, he is going to the moon. We'll see what happens in future tours, but he is crushing it right now, and especially in ranked. But Hammer Bro Me Racing Suit 11, Petey Piranha at 12, White Tanuki Mario at 13, Rocky Wrench at 14, and Light Blue Sky Guy Explorer at 15. What's your thoughts here, Antilev, on the top 15 drivers?
Yeah, not a lot. You see the ones that made the big jumps. Like, it shows how good you don't see a driver as old as Yoshi Goldegg jump that many spots without something exceptional happening. But his buffs were so good this tour that's what happened.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about karts. We got the Armored Rider at 10, up 2 spots. He's been doing great this year. 27 Assume Track, 7 Nitro. We already thought it saw everything it needed to and was going to die off, and it hasn't. It's actually been quite resurging lately. Some interesting pairings with the Yellow Off-Roader. 104 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 7 times, 6 times, and 5 times with karts you don't need to invest in necessarily. We have Blue Crawley Kart up 9 spots, which is a huge jump for it. Obviously that hitbox you love. 17 Assume Tracks, 4 Nitro. A decent tour for the Blue Crawley Kart. We'll see what happens in the future. Some good pairings there with the Yellow Off-Roader, covering 95 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 5 times with the Shielded Speedster, which is very alarming in my opinion. Having coming out this short, 5 out of 17 and 4 is a decent amount. Again, I'm keeping my eye on the Blue Crawley Kart. I'm holding back though. And it might be worth you doing the same. Yellow Off-Roader holding out at number 8, 31 Assume Tracks, 5 Nitro. You have to invest in it. Not a bad card to invest in for sure. If nothing else for the pairings. Does have 7 overlap with the Tanuki Kart and the Choco Macaroon. At number 7, Shield Speedster, 26 Assume Tracks, 9 Nitro, 11 tracks left to see. Some good pairings there with the Yellow Off-Roader, Armored Rider, and the Ice Cream Minibus, 102 of the 284 tracks. Those overlap 6 times with the Red Off-Roader and the Piranha Plant Pipes. And then, as we kind of talked about with that, it's Blue Crawley. At number 6, Red Off-Roader, 27 Assume Tracks, 10 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. No movement here. Good pairings with 98 of the 284 tracks. 7 overlap with the Lightning Streamliner, 6 with the Shield Speedster, and that's really most notable there. Flowery Badwagon down 2 spots. It was crushing it last tour. This one kind of starts to get a little bit of a stumble. We'll see what happens. So 26 Assume Tracks, 10 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Some solid pairings there, 103 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap a couple times with some smaller karts. So Flowery Badwagon, still a meta crusher right now. Still doing really, really well. Moo Moo Off-Roader, 25 Assume Tracks, 5 Nitro. Fortunately fell down 2 spots despite getting one nice, decent buff. But again, I only got 1. There were some karts with more. 38 tracks left to see, which is pretty high considering it's now starting to have been, 6 months or so since it's been released. Some good pairings there, 101 of the 284 tracks. Not too worried about the overlaps at all. They're pretty small karts. Camo Tanuki Kart, 26 Assume Tracks, 7 Nitro, 38 tracks left to see. Some good pairings there. Does overlap 6 times with the Streetle, not too worried about that. 6 times with the Cact B, and 4 times with the Pink Speeder. Blooper Shuttle, you love this cart. 24 Assume Tracks, 5 Nitro, 78 tracks left to see. That's a lot. If you have to invest in the Blooper Shuttle, you will not regret it. It's on the rise, and I think it will continue going to the moon. We also have the Blazing Eagle. This is our number 1 cart in the game. Man, I wonder how long it'll keep getting treated like this. It is absolutely insane right now. 20 Assume Tracks, 17 Nitro, 38 tracks to see. And all of that, to be said, having been released in a city tour. It's absolutely insane. Some solid pairings there, coming 98 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 5 times with the Red Off-Roader, which is a nice big hitbox there. So when we're looking at our top 15, we got the Lightning Streamliner at 11, Purple Dozer at 12, Streetle at 13, Pink Speeder at 14, Gold Bull Blaster at 15. Antilev, what do you want to say about these top 10 karts?
No, I mean, just as expected, the top 3 all got like really amazing buffs, and Moo Moo Off-Road and Flowery Badwagon got buffs that just didn't get buffs as good as the top. It's nice to see that the kind of the ones that we expected there, and the ones that we have been talking up in past tours have been really getting the love.
I'm with you there. Let's talk about gliders. Wonderful Garnet up whopping 12 spots, 26 Assume Tracks, 11 Nitro. Some really interesting pairings there with the Lava Rocks, some some record setter action and some others. This is really one of the first times we've seen the boom masks enter into some good pairings. Does overlap 6 times though with the 8-bit Super Mushroom and the Pink Magnifying Glass, 2 gliders that have been doing pretty well in the meta lately. Green Cat Parafoil 30 assume tracks 10 Nitro, 7 tracks left to see, down 6 spots though. It's been doing really well for a long period of time. It's finally dropping off. These pairings cover 107 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 6 times with the Vanilla and Chocolate, I believe, glider, and the Luigi hat. Black Star Shoot, up 3 spots, 25 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Does have some good pairings for 102 of the 284 tracks that we talked about. Almost every single rundown overlaps a lot with the boom masks, 8 total. We have the Icy Mario's Mustache. Really good, definitely worth investing in. 24 assumed tracks, 16 Nitro. It's a lot of Nitro though. 8 tracks left to see. These pairings cover 104 of the 284 tracks. Those overlap 7 times with the record setter, which is a little startling. Lava Rocks, 28 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Some good pairings covering 106 of the 284 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with the Flyberry Book and the Boo Mask, 6 times with the Black Star Shoot. Record setter, 31 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, including the double level 8 unlock. Does have some good pairings for 107 of the 284 tracks. The biggest and most alarming thing is that it has 8 overlaps with the Wonderful Wings, which many people invested in. And now a new scary alert is the 7 overlaps with the Icy Mario's Mustache. So, again, many people are starting to invest in that. We'll see what happens going forward. Sakura Origami Glider, 29 assumed tracks, 14 Nitro. Just so many tracks. Some good pairings there. You have the Candlelight Flight and the Mario's hat overlapping 7 times. You also have the Prawn Plant Balloons, 31 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Up 3 spots. Really good this year. It's been a phenomenal glider for a lot of people. And again, especially for those in the Banana Republic. Some good pairings covering 107 of the 284 tracks. Always good to see the Black Great Sail in there. The most alarming thing though, 7 overlaps with the #1 glider in the game, 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. That is alarming. But again, it's got 31 tracks, 9 Nitro. Again, take it with a grain of salt. We have this 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. Did fall 1 spot, as you can see, this yellow hard hat here in a second. It's doing really well and on the rise. And the algorithm is built for some predictive aspects. And so 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom it's been so good for so long. We'll see what happens going forward. But 28 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, 8 tracks left to see. Some good pairings there. It does overlap, as we talked about, 7 times with the Prawn Plant Balloon and with the Mario hat. And then, of course, we talked about this yellow hard hat balloon. 23 assumed tracks already. 6 Nitro tracks, still a whopping 75 tracks left to see. That is pretty crazy. 100, some good pairings too. I mean, these are some meta level gliders, and that many of us have invested in this 1-Up Mushroom. Also the gold wings, and also the 8-bit Super Mushroom. So these are some really good pairings that you have. So you might want to take a look at this yellow hard hat balloon. It is on the rise for sure. It does overlap 6 times with the Silver Candlelight Flight, 5 times with the Fuzzy Kite, and this Rainbow Flare. So when looking at the top 15, we do have Wonderful Diamond 11, Boom Mast at 12, Gold Hard Hat at 13, Mint and Berry Balloons at 14, and Calico Tobian Balloons. Antilev, what's your thoughts on the gliders?
Yeah, there's some movement here, but it's mainly just driven by like a lot of buffs and stuff like that. One thing I think is really interesting, like the Wonderful Garnet jumped 12 spots. Wonderful Diamond is just sitting at 11. That went up 19 spots. You don't see it because we don't display the movement on that one. But both of those gliders got really good buffs. Other than that, yeah, no, I mean, like we went over the buffs before. You see, I think it's a bit of a pity the Piranha Plant Balloons came out on the same tour as 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, because it's such a great glider, but it's getting outshone by the 1-Up Mushroom. For sure.
Talking about the movers and shakers, Toadette Astronaut did go up 25 spots. Roaring Racer went up 24 to 50. Dry Bowser Me Racing Suit went up 16 spots to 39. Silver Me Racing Suit, surprisingly, went up 14 spots to 42. I hope it does have quite a late resurgence. But that's really all I want to talk about for the drivers. For karts, you did get the Gold Capsule Kart going up 40 spots to 68. You do have the Rainbow Pipe Buggy going up 29 spots to 41. And then you have the Goo Goo Pink going up 19 spots to 38. For gliders, You do have the Wonderful Diamond, as you talked about, up 19 spots to 11. Anytime anything's cutting its lead in half is phenomenal. Gold Meteors up 15 spots to 25. That's why I debated on having it on that Spotlight spot, because I mean 25 is pretty good for a gold glider.
Top 25 is great.
And the Tulip Corsage not far behind at number 26, going up the same number, 15 total. And then Wonderful Garnet went from 22 to 10, so huge jump there. Let's talk about ranked a little bit. There's nothing unlocked in ranked week 1, so we'll go ahead and skip to week 2. You do have the Bright Girl at level 6, the Huff and Puffin Egg at level 8, and the Gold Hard Hat Balloon at level 8. Gold Hard Hat, I actually took this to level 8 for this unlock. We'll see what happens next week, just because I'm already pot committed. I know it's a fallacy of, kind of that having Hardy invested in it, but I'm already pretty committed, so might as well take it to one level. It's the only track that it gets me, though. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'm still curious to see as the first premium item that came out. Now, I will say for this Yoshi Desert RT, this Piranha Plant Mii suit at level 8 is bonkers. You may want to think about if you have not already taken it to level 8. It's absolutely already insane. This track, it would be absolutely crazy. You do have Poochie at level 8 as well, and then the Smiley Flower Glider at level 6. And then last but not least, Yoshi Island RT does get the Yoshi cookies, as we talked about, at level 6. So a couple notable multiple ranked items. Of course, Poochie notoriously has 4, 2 in week 1, which you can't even get, and 2 in week 2. So very, very sad. Number 4
and
there.
1 is a level 8 unlock.
And a level 8
week 2.
There you go. Week 2. So sad. Poochie, poor Poochie. I don't know why they're doing it. That's definitely in turn 4. I don't know what they're thinking there. Piranha Plant Mii suit, though, guys, this is the big one. 3 times, and thanks to that level 8 unlock. Highly recommend investing in this. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. That's the Piranha Plant.
That's the new one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, take back everything I just said. Yoshi Gold Egg, though, crushing at this tour for obvious reasons. You have the Huff and Puffin Egg. If you want to get it, you want to take it to level 8 for some reason, you can use it 3 times. I would just say stay away from that one. Yugu Black, though, sneaky here. I'd say that's the one item out of all these that you might actually want to invest in. The Smiley Flower, as we talked about, it's got all 4 of these brand new courses, but these courses are Nitro courses, so we'll see what happens
if
there.
You're going for ACR, all of the Yoshi's Island tracks are doubled, so if you are going hard for ACR,
8 right off the bat. Yeah, I love it, man. Let's talk about All Cup ranking, just based on time. Got Poochie 13 times, which is a whopping number there. PD Piranha Mii Racing Suit 10 times. You know, we've already talked about this a little bit before, Antilev, but a lot of people are going for All Cup ranking. If you're going for All Cup ranking, start early. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be going for this tour. So many fun tracks. It's going to be, and they want to use Poochie. I would say that out of the 45 tracks, 22 of them I'm using a Mii suit, and I'm like pretty invested into just the top skills, and that is it. And I'm using 22 Mii racing suits. That's like Gold, PD Piranha, King Boo, etc. And that's about it. That's all I have. I'm not using silver, not using like cats. I'm not using anything crazy. I'm just using some of the top skills, and I'm using 22 of the 45 tracks. So PD Piranha, obviously 10 of those, big there. Cat is used 10 times. You have the regular PD Piranha 10 times. You have Yoshi Kangaroo 8 times. And then for carts, you got a lot of small carts. I will say the Tanuki cart stands out 9 times. That's big there. Moo Moo Off-Roader 8 times as well. That's pretty powerful stuff there. For the gliders, a lot of new ones, as you can see. Calico Parafoil, though, a strong older glider 8 times. I would say for All Cup ranking, gliders are where you're going to struggle. Hopefully you got a couple extra ones in your some of your extra free pipes, or maybe in your token shop. Or tier shop. You might just want to buy more glider tickets, because this is going to be a rough tour for gliders. That's for sure. I already had Jeeves text me saying this is absolutely insane. I'm rolling out with like a level 2 glider here. Absolutely insane. But Antilev, what would you like to add to that or the rest of the episode, as we got to wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered it.
If you haven't yet liked the video, guys, please do so. That does help us get in front of people. But I'm so appreciative for this community. So appreciative for you guys sitting through this episode. And again, enjoy this tour. This is an awesome tour. Enjoy all the fun stuff, especially if we don't get Yoshi Island coming back anytime soon. Enjoy it while it lasts. Get to grind those EXP. Make sure, if nothing else, you walk away from this video please take a look at some of the videos that we'll include links to when it comes to grinding down tokens using auto clickers or voice commands, because this tour you're getting tokens on the course, and you will get a lower score if you still have tokens coming out of your coin box. So there's some, it's not completely all coin box this tour. There are a number of them between Gold Charging Chuck and Yoshi Gold Egg Gold something. A little bit of Gold Me Suit, but again, you got to get rid of those tokens. Do it as quick as possible. Heck, do it overnight. Let the auto clickers do it for you. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, may the frenzy luck be with you. See you guys.